Hello, is anyone out there? Have you come to watch the beginner's guide? If I was old enough, I would for sure recommend this beginner's guide for young and old.
Welcome, SnowBee here with my Alpha 20 version 4 beginner's guide. This is part 1 and covers a number of questions asked by beginners starting to play Darkness Falls. And hopefully this guide will help you out concerning settings and the day 1 of your survival. Let us get one thing out of the way first. This is Darkness Falls. It's an overhaul mod that takes many things from past alphas and then combines them with the new. The game is designed to make things more difficult. I can guarantee you that Darkness Falls will deliver a challenge. And it's not just a mod that adds new monsters. Right, let's get into it. Number 1, an often asked question is what settings should new players start with? Many people increase their experience gain percentage in vanilla to increase the leveling speed. Do not do this in Darkness Falls Alpha 20. In vanilla, your most destructive zombie is the Demolisher. In Darkness Falls, you have multiple levels of zombies, many driven by your game stage. It is not difficult to gain experience in Darkness Falls, and if your technology level does not keep up with your game stage, you will be overwhelmed by zombies and demons that will overrun you without hesitation. Keep your experience on 100 or make it lower. Even veteran Darkness Falls players are recommended to not increase their experience gain. When it comes to difficulty level, if you are trying out the mod for the first time, then I would suggest Nomad level. If you are an experienced 7 Days to Die vanilla player with no issues in playing late game hordes and Blood Moon hordes, then definitely choose Warrior. With Warrior difficulty, body shots on zombies do less damage, so headshots are more important. Also, go for the slightly longer days and shorter nights. It could actually be useful and help you out just as you get things going and start to understand the game. For newer players, I would also choose a slightly higher loot percentage, as when you are first playing, you may not know the correct places to loot, so a higher setting won't hurt and make it a bit more easier when trying to find certain loot-only items. Staying in the menu area, you can use the random world generator. There are certain POIs that are required for the game story in Darkness Falls, and you don't have to play the story content if you don't want to, but it is certainly recommended when progressing in the game. So if you use the random world generator, it should be fine. Those Darkness Falls POIs should all be actually there. Also, don't use the map size larger than 10/40 as this can break your game. An occasional problem is the generated POIs could be in the incorrect biome. To make sure everything is in the correct place, Kane the developer has added in custom maps which have all the correct POIs and in their correct biomes. It is highly recommended that you use these maps first. When you play, you'll see the maps in the menu. These are the ones that Kane has added. Most popular is the medium map, though if you have a computer with lower memory, it is recommended that you use one of the smaller ones. The no CP in the title stands for no Compo pack. The Compo pack is a separate mod of custom POIs and is very, very popular. Compo pack was added to Darkness Falls in the past, but it's not ready for Alpha 20 yet. Once it is, then Kane will add it to Darkness Falls again. Now, I know most of you won't bother with this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Read your journal. Yes, I know you are a vanilla veteran, and there is no need to learn anything from that waste of time journal entry area. However, Darkness Falls is a different game in many respects, and there's actually a lot of help and information in those entries. Try and read them as many concepts and differences are explained in the journal entries. When you initially start the game on day 1, you're not told what to do when it comes to making weapons. You should know that by now, and you should know how to be able to create a club. However, you are given a chance to choose a class where you could get some armor and possibly some weapons, and that is what this book is for. There are 8 classes in the game, and each one will have 6 initial quests that you must complete. Later in the game, you can still make more class books, and you can still move on and get all the classes if you want. However, your first class book is given free, and you must choose one class. For new players, I highly recommend either the Hunter class, Farmer, or the Laborer. Hunter is probably my top suggestion for new players, especially if you play on warrior difficulty or higher. Body shots do less damage, so headshots count, and that is a benefit with the Hunter class. Darkness Falls has buffed knives and machetes, and they make excellent starting melee weapons. You get a bone knife and a machete during your starter quests. You have a better ability for stealth and not being noticed, and with the threat assessments perk, you can even detect where zombies are when crouching in open areas. You will also receive a hunting rifle and a silencer as the final quest reward, which is one of the best rewards in my opinion of all the classes. When it comes to looting animals for meat, you also obtain extra resources to help you along in the early game. And this is why I would definitely recommend Hunter as your starting class as a new player. In Alpha 20, Farmer also gets my recommendation. It is a good pick as you'll have many options in the early game to not starve and has additional food crafting items. If you like the shotgun, then the Farmer is right up your alley. It has an amazing set of shotgun skill upgrades which make a lot of players go for this particular class. Concerning the Laborer, I suggest this as a starting class as you do not have to worry about obtaining many of the crafting workstations. Most will be obtained within this class, and for the builders out there, you often will have earlier access to the various workstations. Another reason for going with the Laborer class is that if you have bad luck at the start for trying to find a cooking pot or a grill, so you can make these things with the Laborer class quite early once you finish your starter quests. Concerning food, when you start Darkness Falls, there are two things that I want to make sure that you take note of. First, many tin foods can make you sick. Compared to the vanilla game, if you look at the tin foods, you will notice that they often have a chance of poisoning you. You need to cook the food first, so check the description and you could get lucky, but you could also kill yourself. So don't take a chance. Second, there is a lot of raw food scattered all over the place. As a starting point, you can pick up potatoes, corn, yucca, apples, oranges, and other raw food. You can make baked potatoes, baked apples, dried oranges, and grilled yucca. Now with the fruit trees, just hit the tree with your axe to harvest the fruit. When picking up raw food, check out the recipe list and see if there's anything that is a requirement before you can actually start making it. With all the recipes, take a look at that description area and see what unlocks it and what is required to make it. These bottom items don't give much food value, but they do help in the early game as there's a lot of raw stuff lying around out there for the picking. It just takes a bit of exploring. Your first quest when starting the game will be to find a trader. Traders have quests that you can do, and besides the loot rewards, they also give you faction. Each quest you do provides a faction point for that particular trader. As you rank higher, you can also buy skills from the trader, which is great because you don't always have to use skill points then. And you can also get higher tiers of the quests, much like the vanilla game. Eventually you can even purchase mastery skills if you rank up to level 30 with a particular trader. There is a basic story in Darkness Falls. Besides the trader, at each trader outpost there is a White River Scout NPC. You can obtain quests from the scout, and for every 5 quests, that particular scout will give you one faction to all the traders. However, once you have completed 10 quests for the White River Scout, she will give you a special quest to find another NPC in the storyline. Be careful as you move through the story quest line though, because as you move along, there will be more difficult enemies and missions, so don't think you're just going to finish this whole storyline in a few days, especially as the final quest of the storyline is part of the end game content. So you don't have to rush it, there's many days left for the story still. Finally, to top off your first day, finding a base for the night is probably a priority on day 1. You are not shown the time in Darkness Falls, this is a feature. Later on you can craft a wristwatch, however until then you can use a vending machine to see the time, or you can ask a trader as well and chat to him and you'll see the time over there. At 7 PM, the crickets start up at the end of the day. So that will give you an indication of when to start packing up, when to start heading and looking for your home or trying to find a home. In Doctor's Falls, the zombies come out to play at night. So even on day 1, you will see radiated and feral zombies around the place at night. The first night can be scary, and I don't recommend you go out and explore. You will very likely get yourself killed. Traders are a good option to house up for the night if you have not found a building. Traders do not kick you out like they do in the vanilla 7 Days to Die game, and they've been given a wall upgrade recently, so it will take a lot longer for any zombies in those early days to break in. There are more zombies in the cities, and a trader is often on the outskirts of the town, so a good option if you have not found another place is to lie low for the night at a particular trader. Another option is to build a small base outside the town. If you are just crouching quietly, the zombies will often just leave you alone and won't bother you, and you should be able to kill 1 or 2 without a problem if they do get close. Just remember to try and lay low in the first night or 2 as you start to slowly upgrade your character. Right, that is it for part 1 of my beginner's guide. In part 2, we'll go into more depth of other features and aspects of Doctor's Falls, so stay tuned.